A hearty howdy to ya, Super Gameplays CZ, and welcome back to r/AmITheAntagonist. We've got some decent stories to look at today. I'm excited to get into these, excited to see what you guys have to say about these situations. I also wanted to announce that officially tomorrow, April 24th, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a YouTube advice stream. It's going to be like a loose Q&A. You guys are going to be able to ask questions. I might give super short and simple answers to them. I might give long-winded, complex answers to them. So come through. It's going to be here on YouTube. Super easy to find. I'm going to try to announce it on all of my social media and stuff so that you won't miss it. But anyway, let's get into these Am I the Antagonist posts. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not gonna just defend every single subreddit because I make videos on it. I've been a little bit disappointed with Am I the Asshole recently, mostly because a lot of the posts seem like so obvious that the person is not the asshole, or like so obvious that this person's a horrible human being and has no reason to be defended. So I'm trying to pick out ones that might be a little bit more two-sided, but this one just stuck out to me because of its incredible pettiness. Let's get into it. Am I the antagonist for throwing out my GF's jars? Throwaway because I know she likes to read relationship boards sometimes. I, 42 male, moved in with my lovely GF, 28 female, a few months ago, before this craziness started, and we've been dating for a year before that. She's an excellent cook and really funny, so life with her has been great, but since this incident she's been snappy at me and lost some of her perkiness and good humor. She always likes to mix fancy drinks in big mason jars to drink around the house. Now mind you, I've actually been a bartender before. Her drinks are not fancy. They're not even drinks. She usually just squeezes a lemon and puts ice on her water. Or she makes green tea and cools it in the fridge with mint or WTV. I'm not sure what WTV is. And the jars usually come from some grocery or another. She saves jars from bulk peanut butter, bean jars. Whatever has a big glass jar, she's going to end up saving it to drink from it. Before moving, I'd asked about the jars because I thought it was really strange. I mean, she owns normal glasses. Her justification was that the jars are bigger, and therefore she doesn't forget to drink water throughout the day. At the time, I kind of assumed this was some weight loss thing she didn't want to actually tell me because she was embarrassed, as she's a little bit chubby, so I let it go. But now I've moved in and the jars are annoying me more and more. She doesn't keep every one of them, but she has like 10 on their own shelf, and it seems like such a stupid waste of space in our small kitchen. Besides, we have glasses. She doesn't have to drink from a jar. So earlier this week, I was tidying up the kitchen while she slept, and I just threw them out. I think the kitchen looks much better. We have so much storage for pots, and she can prepare her fancy drinks in normal glasses. She was pissed. I've never seen her so mad. Her main point was that the jars never bothered anyone and it's none of my business, but now I live here too, so I think it is. During the fight, and this may be where I'm the asshole, I mentioned that it's stupid to want special recipients to just drink flavored water. Special recipients is not the right... Special receptacles is what you're looking for. It's not like it's a cocktail and she's only doing it to lose weight anyway. She went really quiet at that and then walked away from me. I gave her the time to get over it, but it's been a few days and she's still moping around, and I noticed she doesn't seem excited about her fancy drinks. No, you fucking took her fancy drinks away from her, you piece of shit! Fuck you! I hate you! I despise you! Alright, let's finish the story. That's making me kind of feel bad, but I still think I was in the right to throw out her jars, as they were just garbage. Reddit, should I just bite the bullet and apologize? Am I the asshole? Okay, so it's obvious how I feel about this. I don't think this guy's in the right. You know, she's got her fancy drinks. You're criticizing the concept of her fancy drinks, but it's clearly just something she has fun with, and you're trying to ruin it for her. You moved into her place, and now you're gonna be like, yo, I control how much space we got for the pots and pans now. Like, I get that you're sharing a space, but you don't just go throwing people's stuff away. This is ridiculous. This is insane. This dude has made a serious mistake, and if he does not realize that after writing this down, the relationship is doomed and this person's future is probably doomed because, I don't know. Not the worst thing, but another thing that I want to note is, like, he's like, I made this on a fucking Reddit burner account. I threw it on a throwaway account because she reads the relationship threads. You think she's not gonna recognize the jar story? How many other freaking couples are having fights over jars in the house? Like, she's gonna know that you're talking about her and that it's you writing this, you idiot. Alright, next story, not quite as serious as any jar debacle? Is debacle a word? Is debacle? Is it tobacco, Tabasco, just tentacles? I don't know what it is, but debacle is what I'm gonna go with here. My 23 female boyfriend, Mark, 28 male, comes along with my family really well. I'm assuming they mean, like, gets along with my family really well. I used to love this side of our relationship until Mark and I started having problems. The past 8 months we've been fighting quite a bit more than we used to. For the most part, we've been talking things through and are working on keeping our personal stress out of the relationship. However, when we do fight, no matter who starts it or how significant or insignificant the reason is, Mark tends to vent it on my parents, especially on my mother. Mark's not very close with his parents, rarely meets his mom, never his dad, so in a way I'm happy for him finding a support network in my family. It's just that I used to be able to talk to my mother very openly about things, and for quite some time it has happened that Mark's been telling his side of things before me, and my side is not heard anymore. At first my mom was pretty objective about what she heard, now she and my dad have been taking Mark's side in everything. Eventually I did stop talking about any of this to my family, but they keep bringing up our disagreements about which they've heard from Mark. My mom keeps referring to Mark as the son she never had, I have 2 sisters, and it seemed that she's worried of us breaking up and therefore defending Mark in everything. Things escalated yesterday when I eventually told Mark that his behavior has changed my family's dynamics, and I'd appreciate if he didn't talk about our interpersonal stuff to my parents anymore. He was upset and claimed that he doesn't specifically call my mom in order to complain about me, but these things just come up. I responded with, then just stop calling her, which was a bit too hurtful, but honestly I find it hard to believe that he doesn't call especially to complain about me when my mom seems to know our fights thoroughly in just a matter of hours. He's acting like nothing happened now, but I can tell he's not fine. Am I the antagonist? Edit. I never expected this to get so much attention, and I appreciate you taking your time to read my opening and respond. I've read through the comments, and it has opened my eyes, mainly on the fact that I really need to discuss this with my parents as well. A lot of people are commenting on Mark being potentially abusive, etc., and I want to say that I'm not surprised over this based on the very limited information of my post. We'll keep trying to figure things out, but I'm not about to break up with him over these comments, which I'm sure you all understand. I'd also like to say that even though there most definitely is a petty side in me, I think it's a misunderstanding that I'd just be mad over my parents taking Mark's side instead of me. I don't think they should be taking anyone's side since it's my relationship. And as said, this is having an effect on my family dynamics, and I feel like I have the right to be upset over it. Okay, so I personally didn't see anything in this story that made me think, oh, this Mark guy is definitely abusive. It more seemed like just a person who really doesn't know how to manage these sorts of relationships and possibly cope with fighting like this and is going for the wrong places for support. I don't know. Maybe there are signs here that somebody who's experienced this sort of thing sees as major red flags. I'll let you guys kind of dish that out in the comments. But yeah, this is sucky. This is definitely sucky. I don't think he should be talking to your parents about your relationship problems. I mean, maybe every, once in a while, if you have an issue that isn't necessarily, either of your faults, and he wants to go to your mom or dad to be like, hey, you guys have been together for so long, how do you guys deal with these sorts of disagreements or problems? Something like that might be okay, but every single time you have a fight, that's way too much, and it's really uncomfortable that they know so much from both perspectives here. You know, it did cross my mind for a moment, what if this girl is just wrong in all of these fights, and that's why the parents keep taking the boyfriend's side? But I don't really know. I just think that she should talk to the parents about it. She's been with this guy for, a little while. She's been with their parents for her entire life. They need to figure out that stuff on their own before they start dealing with this other person. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think this is kind of just nobody's really in the wrong. Like, I don't necessarily think that Mark's like a vindictive person. I just think he doesn't know how this is kind of breaking some boundaries. But whatever, let's move on. This one is a spicy one, and I expect people to disagree just all over the place. Let's just get into it. Am I the antagonist for supposedly humiliating my boyfriend in front of a waiter? This happened before everything got shut down, but has recently come up again, and I wanted to get an outsider's perspective. I, 23 female, have been dating, in quotes, Eric, 31 male, for around 8 months now, and this happened 1.5 months ago. I say dating in quotes because he never wanted to put labels on anything after coming out of another relationship, which I completely understand. I've done the same thing in the past. I came up to him because I felt him getting distant all of a sudden, and he said I shouldn't worry, and added, I don't worry about you like that since we aren't even in a formal relationship, which hurt me, but he said he would make it up by taking me on a real date after a while without one. Okay, I'm just gonna stop the story right here. We're gonna finish it, but I'm gonna stop the story right here. Immediate major red flags, problems. You've been dating, quote unquote, for 8 months. This guy doesn't want to put labels on anything, but you're upset because he's distant, and he doesn't worry about you being distant. He doesn't really care. This is already bad. You are more invested than he is. He wants to hook up with you and maybe have some, like, emotional support every once in a while, and you're actually looking to eventually be in a formal relationship. This is going to be a problem. I'm just predicting it right now. He wanted it to be a surprise, but it was a moderately fancy modern restaurant. There was only one issue. It was an Asian seafood restaurant, and I have a very minor allergy to fish, and while I won't die from eating it, oceany smells leave me queasy, so I don't like seafood in general. He knew that since I've mentioned it plenty of times, but he said, your allergy isn't super strong, right? They might have something without fish on the menu too. Turns out they didn't have anything seafood free outside of desserts. When the waiter came, I asked him if they had anything without seafood, to which he replied with a confused look, so I added, yeah, I'm sorry this is weird, but I have a mild allergy to seafood and my boyfriend brought me here anyway. I could see the waiter stifling a chuckle before saying he would get me something to eat. He ended up bringing me what seemed like an amalgamation of accoutrements from other dishes. Roasted yams covered in crispy shallots with a bit of spicy relish on top. It was really good. We finished eating, I gave the waiter a big tip from my own pocket, said I was immensely grateful for rescuing my night, and I asked him to thank the chef too. We went back to the car and Eric blew up at me saying that I had humiliated him in front of the waiter and probably the entire kitchen staff too. He also didn't appreciate being called boyfriend. I mentioned he could just have remembered about my allergy, to which he said he couldn't possibly remember every single tiny detail about me, and that I shouldn't complain since he was trying to be nice. Fast forward to now, I'm living in his apartment, rent-free, his parents own it, and I said he shouldn't have been rude to our Uber Eats driver because he took a wrong turn and got there late. So he blew up at me asking if I wanted to humiliate him in front of another service worker again like that night in the restaurant. He mentioned that event in a group chat we're in with a few of his friends, and they mentioned that I could have worded things better to not throw him under the bus. So, am I the antagonist for calling him out in front of the waiter? I'm not used to fancy restaurants, so I don't know about their etiquette. Alright, so I'm not like an expert on any of this stuff, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't think this is a problem with seafood or interactions with waiters. This is a problem with the style of your relationship. If my boy and I went out, like, I don't know, maybe we're celebrating something, if he booked a reservation at a place like a seafood restaurant and I had a seafood allergy, we would get up to the door of the place, like say it's a surprise, and I would be like, oh dude, I have a seafood allergy. We're not going here. We'll go somewhere else. And it wouldn't be a problem. If this happened with my girlfriend, I can understand how she would be upset that I'd forgotten her seafood allergy if I was taking her out as a surprise. But because you're in this weird, like, he doesn't want to put labels on things after 8 months, and you want to be taken out on a date because he's been neglecting you, everything just becomes more complicated, and I think it's really just you moved in with him too. This is just a mess. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think you're a bad person, I don't even think you're that in the wrong in this situation. I just think that you've made a mistake with this situation, and you should probably look towards getting out of it, because I don't see this guy becoming what you want him to be anytime soon, and I think that you do deserve better here. And I would advise that he start being honest with himself and just tell chicks that he wants to be friends with benefits instead of doing this whole, I don't want to put labels on things. It's a mess. Also, I just want to mention one more thing about this situation because I forgot to mention it after I came into conclusion and all this stuff. I do want to analyze the interaction with the waiter just a tiny bit. I don't think this is a problem. If she had said it and it had been in some sort of jest, if it wasn't in jest and she was actually to the waiter and the waiter was holding back laughing, I can understand how maybe the boyfriend would have been like, you threw me under the bus. But if she was saying it in jest, that's not a big deal at all. I don't think that she's in the wrong for saying that. This is a mess. So I'm very happy to announce that we actually have 3 new merch designs over on our Teespring store. 2 of them from my friend Dino USB, who made some awesome designs, and one of them is just the standard-ass Q-Star logo. It's a little bit of a cheaper shirt. If you're interested, I think it's a cool logo because I made it in Canva with the permanent marker font in freaking February of 2018 or something like that, and it's been dope ever since. But anyway, please, if you have any interest in someday becoming a YouTuber or making content on this website or any online video content, but mostly YouTube, come through to the stream tomorrow. I'm going to try my best to help everybody as much as I can. I know that it's really hard to get started on YouTube, and a lot of times there are a lot of mental roadblocks, so I'd like to be able to help people work through those and maybe be a little bit more efficient or effective in their YouTube growth journey or whatever. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, 4/24/2020 or 24/4/2020 if you live in other places of the world that aren't, I don't know, the US, or I don't even know who uses that format. I don't know. But anyway, I'd like to give a major thank you to Ghost Spoons, Roller Geeks, James Barnowski, Miss Inked, Hyper Ninja Child, Jared D, Regrettable Stitches, Allison B, For Jared, Connor G, love those rhymes in the middle, Cryptid Fennec, Kaya Bay, Tasha K, and Catco for being top tier members of this channel, as well as everyone else you see on your screen. If you'd like to join, support the channel while also getting some decent perks, you can hit that join button below the screen. Thank you all for your continued support. It's so awesome that I get to do this, and that you guys keep watching this stuff. And I hope we can have a mutually cool experience here, where I can keep making good stuff for you guys. So yeah, peace out, Cub Scouts. Skate on to the best of your abilities, drink water, and I'll see you very soon.